Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Priyanka and let's get started with our latte makeup tutorial. So I'm starting off with a cleansing milk. I'm cleaning my face here to remove any dirt, oil, etc. If you've cleaned your face, it's completely fine. I'm using a drugstore moisturizing cream here from Nivea Light Moisturizer. This is an orange color corrector to conceal darkness and pigmentation or any dark spots if you have. So I will be using it around my mouth area as well as eye area. As you can see, I have darkness around my eye area. Now you can just softly blend it using a dry sponge or damp sponge. I'm using a dry sponge here to spread it, and then I will be using a concealer on top of it. So this is a concealer shade from Bobbi Brown, and as you can see, it is kind of covering our orange color corrector underneath for sure. So I'm going to use it on top of wherever I have applied the orange color corrector. You can use it through the applicator, or you can use a brush to apply. I'm using the Bobbi Brown's applicator here and spreading it around my eye area, mouth area using the same. Brush also works fine. It's completely your choice, to be honest. It really doesn't make much difference. You just have to ensure wherever you have the orange color corrector, you're kind of applying your concealer on top of it. Again, using the same dry sponge here to spread it on my face, the concealer. So right now I'm just blending it around the mouth area, then I'll blend it around eye area, and then I'll use the leftover around my whole face so that we have an even complexion and a smooth finish all over our face. As you can see, now we have got a good base. Now I'm applying the cream foundation here using a brush. First I'm applying it around the eye area, and as you can see, I will be applying it first on the half face of mine and blend it using damp sponge here. Because what happens with the cream foundation is that if you don't blend it quickly, sometimes it creates a patch and it dries out there. So exactly that's what I'm doing here. So this is our other side of the face. I already applied the cream foundation, and using the same technique, same method, I'm blending it all over my face. I also like to apply the cream foundation on my neck to match the shade. So if you have applied something like CC cream or concealer foundation, you can just use a little bit of quantity on your neck as well, so that it looks the same and not different. Now here I'm using the Swiss Beauty concealer. This is basically thick, and sometimes cream foundations, they are quite slippery and doesn't stay. So to avoid that and brighten certain areas of my face, I'm using this shade from Swiss Beauty concealer. So like this, you can blend it near your eye area. Just be careful while blending so that your concealer or foundation doesn't move. Now we will be using the eyeshadow palette from Jaclyn Hill, and as we are doing the brown latte makeup tutorial, so you can see I'm starting off with a very light brown shade. Now maybe you can hardly see the pigment here, but it is adding pigment to our eyelid area for sure. So I'm starting it with the lightest shade. Now I'm going with one shade darker, and using the same brush, I will be applying it on my upper eyelid area and not lower eyelid area. So this is how you can just go to and fro. Start with the lightest shade you want to use of brown, then top it up with another shade which is darker than that, and then go with, like this, you can go with the proper brown shade. Now this is the shimmer shade which I will be using on my lower eyelid area using my finger only. It really works for shimmer shades. Your finger works the best. You can also use brush, again that's completely up to you. So like this, you can apply your shimmer shade here. So you see they look from the same family, but at the same time you have different dynamics on your eye area. Shimmer on the lower eyelid and matte on the upper eyelid area. This palette has a lot of good shades and it's really a good buy. So if you want a good palette, you can use that. I'm using this brush to kind of just blend and soften everything if there's something left over. I'm using this white shade for the brow bone area, and like this, again you can use a finger, apply it, blend it, softly using your finger only, so that it doesn't look like very hard on your brow bone. I'm using the concealer here to remove the extra eyeshadow texture which we have right now, and using a sponge like this you can just blend your concealer, then use your finger to soften the edges so that it doesn't look like devil. Joking. Now this is the eyeshadow stick from Makeup Forever. It is again from the same family shade, that's why I'm using it. You can use any brown pencil for this purpose. Using a small head brush, any brush, you can smudge it so that you have a proper finishing there. Now I'm using the Makeup Revolution contouring stick here, and I'm just going to add that warmth, that contouring shade to our face so that it looks like proper latte makeup, brown makeup, and not really, you know, flushed out or pink blushes, etc. We are not going to do that today. I'm using a brush for nose contouring. You can use a stick, but it's pretty thick head, so it's really inconvenient. Using a brush for nose really helps, so that's why you see me applying it. I'm using the same stick but applying it using a brush. Now whenever you are blending your contouring shade, bronzer, whatever, just use an upward technique rather than downward, because that can make your face look slightly dull. So whenever you're blending, go upwards rather than downwards in whatever direction or technique you have used. Using a sponge here to blend it. You can use brush or you can also use your finger, that's completely up to you. So blending it on the other side of my face, adding that warmth. Now I've used the same eyeshadow palette to create this wing. I'm just using a brown eyeshadow pigment here, using this angled brush from Sigma. You can use any brush, but these angled brushes really help to give you a good wing. I'm using a dark brown shade, deep brown shade from Anastasia for brow purpose. And this we don't want very black color, right? Black pigment for our eyebrows. So in front you can just use a leftover pigment, whatever you were using in the middle or outwards. In front, just go slightly lighter than what you have applied in the center and end of your eyebrows. I'm using a liquid highlighter here, and I'm very particular about where to apply it, because if you have open pores like me and you apply it in the center of your face, they will look bigger and the texture will be much more prominent. I'm using a concealer here for outlining my lips so that the lip liner also stays, otherwise it just completely gets washed off. This is a very neutral shade, like the shade name is I think Caramel. This is from Anastasia. This is very light brown pigment. As you can see, it's pretty nude. So I'm using this lip color to get little bit of more pigment, but in the same family again on the brown side. This is a Forever 52 palette, and I'm using it for the powder contouring or bronzing, you can say. So that our liquid contouring stays there. Otherwise, again, because we use cream foundation, all this can just wash off. Now let's just use these lashes quickly and see our final look. So yes, this is our latte makeup, and I hope you liked it, find it useful. So please don't forget to subscribe, and thank you. Bye bye.